A lot has been happening in the crypto space over the past 24 hours. Take a look at this. First of all, I think this is most important, is that the massive Bitcoin dump that was about to take place next month has actually been extended by about a year. Now, why is that so? What exactly happened? Take a look at this. Mt. Gox trustee changes the repayment deadline to October of 2024. Nobuaki Kobayashi has officially changed the deadline for paying back the exchange's creditors from October 31st, 2023 to October 31st, 2024. And this might not tell you anything. You might not be familiar with what exactly this means, but it just basically means that they have kind of forsaken us, but kind of helped us. Let me explain. The long story short is that Mt. Gox was a very popular crypto exchange about a decade ago, got hacked or insidered, or well, there's a lot of theories about that, but a lot of Bitcoin were basically found back after a while. Yet when it got hacked, I believe the Bitcoin price was about $500. And so now if people get a share of what they lost about a decade ago back, it's supposed that they'd go and massively sell it because they'd be in massive amounts of profit still. The reason I said they have forsaken us, though, is because right now, if they were to sell, they'd do it at one of the lower points. And so you'd get these weak-ass holders out and actually get another, I guess, little accumulation phase because the price went down. As you guys might or might not know, recently here, we've actually, and I don't have this perfectly in the chart, but the amount of time we've been in a bear market for has basically now equaled the amount of, or rather getting close to it. Basically this down period where the prices was down is about, let's call it 350 days or so. And now that we've actually climbed from that bottom is also right now at roughly 330 days. If you're wondering what we were drawing here, all this ugly stuff, it was just basically a cycle for Bitcoin that on the short term was repeating itself, and it showcases the double bottom that Bitcoin has made, but it doesn't matter too much. The idea was basically that if they were to sell it later, though, it could be that the market would pick up significantly at that point. And so more Bitcoin getting to these holders that would have already sold at cheap prices. Well, we'd rather have them sell at these cheap prices than high prices. On the contrary, you'd rather have them sell in a good period where we can just easily recoup than in a bad period because, well, that might just make the morale even worse, getting Bitcoin to crash massively. Imagine this, Binance US or something like that going down. At the same time, all this Bitcoin getting unlocked, a lot of these guys taking profit. It would just be bad on top of bad on top of bad, and preferably we'd have it another way. On the opposite side, once all this bad is over, if it all were to happen at the same time, you'd basically have so much good that the bull market could finally start as all these bears are out. But again, that's up to your own determination, or interpretation, I should say. Anyway, at the end of the day, we all know why we're buying into cryptocurrencies. The traditional financial system is broken. That's obviously one of the reasons people love XRP, because they really are seeing where the friction lies and seeing how these guys are changing a problem. There's one interesting thing. One thing that's going pretty trendy over on Twitter is that Ripple is not going to use XRP or something of this sort. I'm not exactly sure. Don't let anyone tell you, though, that banks are not using XRP or that the usage of XRP by Ripple is going to slow down or whatever stupid stuff. That's a bold-ass lie. XRP is being used on a small scale, which, again, is not really small if you really start looking into all the partnerships that they've got. That's where there's no massive pumps, though. Well, my theory about that is that we know very, very well there are many companies that are literally trying to do what Ripple has done for a while. And here was actually another part of the theory. Ripple isn't abandoning XRP. They own billions. So they have a good incentive to keep pumping it, like we've seen with David Schwartz. He basically said a higher price per XRP would greatly benefit everybody. It's used as a strategic weapon, David quote status back in 2018, to become an Amazon, one must expand, giving clients what they want, stablecoins, etc. Surprise, Ripple dev interview with insight into ETH ecosystem expansion is coming. Well, the point here basically being that Ripple said they were going to become the Amazon of, I guess, new Amazon sort of, and they said that payments with the way of XRP that it is now is just their first vertical. But at the end of the day, anybody with a brain also knows if you want to take over the world and you want to go from a small unicorn to a trillion-dollar company, you've got to do some crazy things. You've got to expand. You've got to look in some other verticals, which is most likely why they're acquiring so many new companies and why they're focusing a lot more on this CBDC part right now, and potentially also because they've got so much lined up for XRP, etc., but it's a bear market. Anyway, we've got something else that's quite interesting. Actually, two things, but let me show you this first. Confirmed. Today, Patrick McHenry, the chairman of the Financial Services Committee, confirmed my August 30th scoop that Gary Gensler will be testifying before the House Financial Services Committee. next Wednesday, September 27th. I'm going to be watching that because usually when it gets onto these commissions, it's pretty garbage. But, all right, and we like butts. The House Financial Services Committee is one that I'm usually a little bit more excited about because, well, we've seen Patrick McHenry roast Gary Gensler before. He's also asked some serious questions, and we've got Warren Davidson and some of the other guys that hopefully are able to grill, shake, or do something to him to catch him off guard. I'm not so sure, but at least to try. Here's one thing that I kind of was hinting on earlier when I said that we all know why we're buying. I said that a couple minutes in, right? I just want you guys to understand as well, you're still very extremely early. Take a look at what your guru said. Apple explores launching built-in stock trading on iPhones. Now that headline right there, all right, you should clip this, is going to be replaced with crypto soon enough, all right? I believe 100% that Apple eventually will have a native crypto wallet. And the moment that that happens, you're not an early adopter anymore. But right now, I personally believe you still are. And I've got two more interesting pieces here. We've got a little video from Gary Gensler. Let's watch it. Before we do that, guys, if you've not done it yet, make sure you go ahead and press the like button. At the end of the day, I should sometimes be more reassuring about this. My goal with this channel is to make you guys do well. At the end of the day, you have to understand, if I make videos and everybody is shitty at investing at the end of the day, then my videos are kind of useless. So even though it might seem, oh, he's just talking about some news, no, we are building up, hopefully, people's mindsets to, once the bull market comes back around, make millions upon millions of dollars. We've already made a lot of millionaires, but I think the next run, the next 2 or so years, we can make thousands. Because I speak from experience that it's not that hard if you got the right tracks, the right information. That does not mean everybody will be able to do it. It's just the honest truth. And it does not mean everybody will have crazy amounts. It's going to vary for everybody, depending on luck and your effort, etc. But to get a massive multiplier in the next bull market, it's just not that hard. Anyway, that's what I'm preparing everybody for, hopefully with these videos as well. And of course, keeping y'all informed, because crypto is pretty cool in my opinion. But so I want to have a little bit different of an interaction sometimes, more of a family, more of an army sort of, so we can really do cool things. But I'll talk about it more later.
And so nothing any court would say would change your mind on
that? I wish something a court could say which would actually bring the compliance sooner.
If you're wondering why that video of Gary Gensler is so funny, it's because he always says the crypto space is full of hucksters and non-compliance. But then when the question is asked, hey, would anything the court says change your mind? Because the court rules at the end of the day. They can make suggestions, but the court rules. And he says, well, if you read through the lines, well, no, really, right? Not really. I mean, the court says it doesn't really matter. I keep my opinion. And that's kind of stupid. About what I was saying earlier, there's actually even an even more perfect chart that shows the bull and bear phase. What I was showing was that from top to bottom has almost been as long as from bottom to I guess where we are right now. And the time really flies if you start thinking about it. But what this chart here shows is that the whole bull market, this whole bullish phase, not the beginning of the bull market, but when things were basically at peak performance until things turn back around, which is basically the key support/resistance, has lasted about as long, which is very interesting. And one last thing I don't fully understand. I'm not sure if this is glitching out, but BitBoy has been going pretty heavy over on Twitter. As you guys know, he's been going pretty crazy altogether. Is my internet out? Is my Twitter banned? What's going on? Anyway, for some reason, I'm not able to load any tweets. The idea that I wanted to bring up is, as you can see, BitBoy over on Twitter is going pretty hard. At least he's been asking for donations, as apparently everything's been taken away from him. I saw his recent stream get like 5,000 concurrent viewers. And I've been following the story for the most part about exactly what is happening, even though we're mostly getting a, it's them versus them type of situation where his word and the other word, we don't know who's right and who's the liar or the thief or whatever you want to call it, the bad doer. It's just been a very interesting situation though. And I believe he's gotten some good donations over the past 24 hours. I think at least a couple of tens of thousands of dollars, with a lot of other influencers supporting him also, because apparently he's lost everything and is down bad. The difficulty about the situation is we don't know exactly what situation he's in. Apparently, he's still got his Rolex, he's still got a significant amount of things, just not access to his major funds, not his Lamborghini, and apparently his recording studio, etc. And it's hard for a viewer to know if all his clothes have been taken. You know, all his 1,000 or let's call it $800 shirts, have they all been taken as well? Because this man lived a life of heavy luxury and is now down to normal levels, maybe? Because I can't imagine they've taken everything, but perhaps I am mistaken, or I guess we'll just see more as the situation rolls out further. Again, if I had to choose a side, I'm on BitBoy's side, because for the most part, when I think of BitBoy crypto, I think of this man. So if they've really taken it from him, I stand 100% behind Ben. I can't think of any other thing. I just don't fully understand exactly the way they structured their company where a hostile takeover like this was even possible. Anyway, last but not least, we did not get any new rate hike. Just wanted to quickly confirm that. The FOMC had earlier decided to keep the interest rate steady at 525, 550 BPS because apparently the inflation is moving along the way they wanted it to go. The Fed projects that the median PCE inflation would drop to 3.3 by the end of the year and would drop further to 2.5 and 2.2% in the next couple of years. And it's expected that the next decision, which is going to come out over in November, has about a 36% chance, right now estimated, for a rate increase. But all I can say about that is we shall see. Just wanted to quickly give you guys an update on the market and everything interesting that's going on. If you enjoyed it, make sure you press the like button. And of course, make sure you put the notification bell on for any, breaking news updates that come out. And I'll see you tomorrow with another crypto update. That's it.